We are back, and all of the trades are reporting that Bruce Willis is retiring because he's been diagnosed with a brain issue called aphasia. Now, I know quite a few people that work in the film industry. I talked with one person on one of the last shows I worked on, and they had done several films with Bruce. And it's been widely known in the industry that he's been having some sort of issue, but everyone keeps that kind of stuff close to the vest because it is private medical issues. So he's suffering from aphasia. Now, my father, who died in 2015, had aphasia right before he died. My dad had melanoma cancer that spread to his lymph nodes, then went to his brain and formed a mass in his brain the size of a grape. But it was in a place 2 inches above the left ear, right here. That is where all your speech and cognitive comes into play. So my dad wanted the tumor removed, and I almost feel like he would have been better off if he just left it. He died a few weeks later after they took out the tumor. It came back more aggressively in the same spot, but they told my dad that when they removed it, there was a chance that he could have issues. And sure enough, he was like, I don't care. I want it out of my head. And that was my dad. I totally get that. He wasn't comfortable knowing there was a tumor in there, but the aftermath was rough. He had aphasia. So everyone who has aphasia has it a little bit different than everyone else. So no one really knows in the public knows what's caused Bruce Willis's aphasia, but normally it's a stroke or a head injury or something in this part of the head on the left side, about 2 inches up. And everyone's experience is different. Some people just lose memory and can't figure out their speech patterns properly. My dad would say things and he would be so frustrated on his face. He would say things like the cat, clock, walk, fork, knife. Let's just say that was the combination of words. And what he was trying to say was, I'd love a cup of coffee. Now, in his mind, he said, I'd like to have a cup of coffee. But when the words came out, it was cat, knife, cup, concrete, whatever the words were. They weren't the words that he wanted to speak. And that was the aphasia that he suffered. And he got to the point where he would write things down to talk to me, because it was almost like playing charades. I would talk to him and I'd say, do you mean this? Do you mean that? And he would just, and it was just like, it was so frustrating for him to communicate. And it was very, I know, like, in my heart, if he could have taken it back, he would have. Now, I digress back to Bruce. Some people that I know that I've talked to that worked on films with him had said they thought he was suffering from dementia. No one knew it was aphasia. But they said that, a lot of actors, especially when they're cranking out movie after movie after movie, they get cue cards. Someone like, Val Kilmer would do cue cards. Eric Roberts is the master of cue card reading. It's like a fail safe off to the side, and a really good actor can kind of catch it and not let the camera know that they're looking at the lines. But someone I had talked to had said that, Bruce would say things that, weren't written on the cards and weren't in the script. And sometimes he would even say lines from other movies while they were rolling, the cameras are rolling. He was getting very confused with his, and, it's like everybody kind of knew it. And he was cranking these movies out left and right. I think he's done 8 films in the last, couple of years. And, he gets like $1 million for a day and a half or 2 days worth of filming. And you run 2 units and you just kind of shoot them out. You film every scene, while one crew is in one area filming or setting up cameras, the other crew is shooting Bruce, and then they just take Bruce and they go over to the next thing and they shoot out that. And so then they've got all the scenes that they need for the movie within like 24 hours for like $1 million. And you know, it's great. He worked as hard as he could under those circumstances to do the best work he could do, to make sure he could provide for his family and leave, you know, something behind. You know, medical bills are going to pile up, that kind of stuff with this kind of thing. And I just applaud him for work, and his work ethic was so hard. And it's just sad because, again, like, I know with what my dad went through, I can't imagine somebody who is such a huge star for the last 40 years and just can't say the dialogue, can't get it out right, you know. And nobody knows if it's a head injury from a movie. Maybe he got a concussion at some point. Nobody knows right now if it was a stroke or something that might have happened. He's 67 years old, so he's getting up there, you know, to the point where the car doesn't always run as good as it used to. You know, things start to break down here and there when you start hitting 67, 68, 69, 70, you know. And so it's just really sad. And my heart goes out to, because I've been through this, my heart goes out to Bruce Willis and his family. It's just, it sucks. There's just no other way to say it. It sucks. But apparently he's in good spirits, and, you know, he just wants to, you know, have fun, live it up, do what he's got to do. And I wish him the best and his family. What do you guys think, man? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Let's talk about all his movies, your favorite movies, you know, all the stuff we've loved about Bruce Willis since he came onto the screen, the small screen, then the big screen. Let's talk about it in the comment section. We'll see you on the next one.